Hello everybody, welcome to What the Talk with Dr. Anu. And today's topic is very different, but something which we encounter every day. Before going on into the topic, please share, like and subscribe to this channel called What the Talk with Dr. Anu. Let's get on to the topic. Last week, I went to a mall for shopping and then it was appalling to see the elevator or lift etiquette that people were following. I was really cheesed off and my mood took a downward swing because of the kind of behavior that people were showing while using elevators, and this continued with the usage of lifts at work and other places. Maybe I became very selectively perceptive, but I started following how people are misusing rather than using the elevators or lifts, which we call them commonly, and I just wanted to share this topic. After this topic, please be mindful of the various things that I discuss in this particular episode on lift etiquette. So let us move on to the lift etiquette. Most of us are not aware that there is a theory called two-flight theory for lifts, where if your destination is on the second floor or first floor, if you are able-bodied and can climb the stairs, it is important for all of us to use the stairways. And it is also very, very healthy to use stairs. Be it going up or down, you're going to burn some calories. So next time when your offices or your establishments or anything that you go to a building for something and your work is on the first or the second floor, be sure to take the stairway and don't use the lift. This will save the lift for many people who would be needing it, like senior citizens or ailing people, patients, etc. Now, most importantly, I found that when people are in the lift, at least there is supposed to be a way in which you are standing, because I see people facing each other and it is pretty annoying. The other day at the mall also, there were people who were turning towards me and then that was very annoying. Usually we all stand in a lift facing the door of the lift, and that's etiquette, because in that way everybody has got their own small space and personal privacy. Next time you get into a lift, do not forget this tiny technique where you are facing the door, and if there are two people in a lift, they stand on either sides. It is, most of us know that. Three people, we stand in a triangular position. Four people on four sides of a lift. It's very important. You might say that one need not be so very clinical about it, but it's very important for people to understand the personal space and its importance when it comes to others as well. It's not just our personal space. And the other thing that I have noticed while using lifts is people usually press all buttons of all floors, whether they need to get down or get into the elevator at that particular floor or not. This not only is very irritating, but it is also very delaying. Just in case if you are getting out of work or going for work, just imagine those precious few minutes before you swipe your card and record your attendance, that you are missing out on those precious 1 or 2 minutes, and you're making others also do that. Apart from these, I have also found some very typical Indian behavior. This is the experience that I had at the mall, but if we move on at the cinema theaters and apartments and other places where lifts might get crowded at some point of time, I have noticed several things which are very unique to our country. Please abstain from doing that, because it is not only annoying and irritating, but sometimes it is very hazardous, especially with regards to kids. I feel that we have zero understanding of how to deal with kids, especially when it comes to lift etiquette. I have seen people walking into lifts with backpacks on, handbags on, or some kind of packages in their hands, not considering what young people might go through if they get hit by the corners of those, which are mostly of metal, or even paper sometimes can cut your skin. So I have seen this happening in one of my experiences at cinema theater, where the family came with a young kid and the gentleman came out with a backpack and it hurt the kid on his head. So please don't do this mistake of carrying your backpacks on your back or holding your handbags on your shoulders. When you get into a lift, you are supposed to remove them and carry them in front of you so that it is not hazardous for others. And if you find a toddler or very young kid in the lift, it is but natural for us to make way for them so that they stand in front of the door so that they do not get asphyxiated, because sometimes because of the crowded lift they might not get the necessary air. This is very important and I don't find it in India. Another annoying factor that I find in our country is once you get into the lift you never smile. I have seen in the other countries randomly when you get into a lift we at least greet smile or nod at complete strangers in acknowledgement. And in India, I find that people stare back at you, and it is very annoying. This is also an etiquette rule that you have to follow when you get into a lift. This is very annoying, and I have faced it several times, and people are super annoyed when you smile at them also. This is, I don't know the reason for it. Probably you can mention it in the comments as well. These apart, I found several very typical behaviors of Indians while getting in and getting out of the lift. People have this habit of pressing the non-stop button, pressing the door close button. I don't know for what reason, because a lift is for everybody. You cannot rule it. If the building manager has done it for a particular purpose, then there is no point in arguing about it. But when we are using the lift, we do not have a right to bar others from using the lift. And these are the points that I found very, very pertinent while getting into a lift. Next time, I'm sure after watching this episode, you will be very, very careful about what you are doing while getting in and getting out of the elevators, and follow this, because it has to be pleasant not only for us, but it is supposed to be pleasant for all the others who utilize the lift, and especially for women, children, and senior citizens and patients who require their personal space. Please do not violate the personal space of people standing in a lift. I find it mostly in India that people do not respect this, and there is this camaraderie suddenly that comes in when a lift is full and everybody wants the one extra person to come into the lift, thinking that they're going to help him irrespective of how much load a lift can take. And this happens quite often in India. Don't do this, because if a lift has to take so many number of people or so much of weight in it, it is supposed to take so much of weight in it. There is no harm in stepping out and taking the next flight up or down, and this should be followed. So I hope this episode, which is very simple, we encounter it every day, but this episode brings some light to all of us as to how to behave while getting in and out of an elevator. This is What the Talk with Dr. Anu. Thank you.